Hey there, Fun Stampers Journey Coach Janice Whiting here. I am your Fun Stampers Journey Coach Direct, and in this video I want to show you one of the projects that is featured in our inspirational catalog. So it is found on page 53, and I will go ahead and show you. Here it is. Isn't that beautiful? Ever since I first took a peek at our catalog, I loved this card, this setup, particularly because it features one of our multi-step stamp sets. So those beautiful flowers there were done using the multi-step stamping technique, and I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera view and take you through how to create this. It is actually quite simple, will not take too long, and I think you will enjoy it. All right. Okay, so here we go. Here's our card. Now, as you can see, it is 10 fold using the longer side. And again, I got this project straight from our inspiration book and catalog on page 53, and it is right here on the right-hand side for you to see. And I did switch out the sentiments a little bit, but pretty much everything else I kept the exact same. Now this beautiful card features one of our multi-step stamp sets. It's called Poppy Days, so SS0346, and it is one of my favorites. Okay, so you saw, or you might have seen my card last week. I say last week, whatever, last video in which I used Summer Rose, and that set is also one of our multi-step stamp sets. And so I wanted to continue with that because, like I said, we have quite a few different sets of these, and this one is probably my next favorite in the multi-step, the Summer Rose being probably my favorite, and then this one coming right up next to it. So let me go ahead and show you how I created this beauty. So the first thing, like I said, is just a regular 10 fold card, and so you'll need to have one 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base already ready and set up on the side for you. I'll put it over there. And then you'll need a blue, a pull play piece that is a 1/4 inch smaller on both sides. So then this would be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we'll be doing some layering with that towards the end. And then the panel in which you're going to create this beautiful background floral look is going to be another 1/4 inch shorter, so 5 inches by 3 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down straight in the center of my paper and see if I can zoom in just a little bit, and hopefully I will not have so much trouble with our focusing today. Let's hope not. Okay, so as you can see, we've got these beautiful, and it's called Poppy Days, so I'm assuming these are poppy flowers, although they don't quite look it, but that's okay. We're calling them poppies, that's what it says. And we're going to put them all around. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the stamp set. So these 1, 2, and 3 go together, and these 1, 2, and 3 go together. Okay, and they do pretty much line up, and so you can, it's not too hard to tell what should go where. So I'm going to grab my bigger bloom first, put it on my C block here, and this one I'm going to just use our lightest color, which the colors that were used here are bubblegum pink for the light background, and then watermelon fusion for the detailed. We also will use our black licorice for the very small centers, but we're going to start with our background piece first. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up this one. Now do pay attention to the image, okay? I always try to find a way for it to make sense for me for as far as kind of like the design of it, I want to try to figure out and find something that's very obvious that I can tell, oh look, these three are together, or those two, or this has a point, just for orientation's sake, for when we do the next step. So automatically I kind of see these, for whatever reason, these kind of stick out to me, like these three here at the bottom, and then this one has a little point. So I kind of look at that. But anyway, that'll be for the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm just going to randomly place these in the background, and maybe I'll fill in here and here a little bit. I want to leave some space for the other flowers, so maybe I will just do a little bit here on the corner, and that's it. Okay, so this is the background, okay, for the first poppy bloom. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch over to the second part, which kind of brings in the details of the poppy bloom, and that's the one that looks like this. Okay, so the first one was the solid image. Then you get kind of the next step up or so, which is has some details, but it's not tiny or anything. We're going to put that one down, and we're going to use our watermelon fusion to bring out the details. Now, come back to, if you can remember, when I talked about trying to figure out a way to kind of make it look, make it stand out, I automatically noticed the little point at the top here. So I'm going to try to find the point at the top, and then the three petals that kind of were together. And that's how I'm going to orient my stamp over the solid image. So I see a little point here, and I see my three petals here. So that's how I'm going to lay over it. And again, I hope my head doesn't get in the way, but I want to make this right on top of that. Beautiful. Okay, and I'm going to do that for each one. If it's, you know, slightly askew, that is okay. That is kind of part of the look anyway. So don't be afraid, or don't be disappointed if you don't get it just perfect as you thought you might. Okay, this one just on the edge here. And then this one here. I can't remember, guys. Did I move it? Oh, I did. Okay. There we go. All right, so now I've got those, the bigger blooms. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the medium bloom. Okay, so in this one, I say medium, whatever you want to call it, small, medium. Maybe we'll call this large, we call this medium. That's what I'm doing. So this one's kind of a fuller one. This one's kind of folded a little bit. So I'm going to switch over to this guy and back to my bubblegum pink for the background. And I'm just going to try to fit him in here and see if he'll come in some of these little open spaces. I'm going to turn the paper and just get those petals in there. And then let's see if I'll get him to fit on the side here somehow. There we go. Okay, so again, just random. There was no, oopsie, there was no rhyme or reason for me to put that on there. I just kind of wanted to fill up the page and make sure there wasn't any like blank, large open spaces. Okay, so I'm switching out solid to the next detailed one. And this one we're using our watermelon fusion. Okay, just like with the other bloom. And this one I feel was a little bit easier to line up because it just has a more distinct shape. But again, that first one wasn't too difficult either. You just kind of have to go for it. Do expect a small level of fear to be like, oh, I hope I get it right. But hey, if you're fearful, try it on a scrap piece of paper first and then go for it. Although I promise you, you won't be disappointed. You'll do just fine. All right, okay. Don't you love that? Isn't that amazing? Even just that, I think, is beautiful. I love that. Look, all because of the multi-step technique, the way that these stamps are designed. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring out the center. So we've got the solid image, we had kind of like the detail of flower, then we have the small centers of each flower. And the one that has this little jut out section is the one that goes with the large bloom. Again, we've got 1, 2, and 3 that go together, and then 1, 2, and 3. So kind of they go together like that. So I'll help you to know which one goes with which. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on my block and grab my black licorice. Now this one, as far as figuring out where it went, how to lay it out, as I was kind of playing around, the little arm that juts out here fits right along this petal that has the outline. And it's the easiest way for me to remember. Let's see if I can zoom in just a wee bit so you can see a little bit better. There we go. So once again, this little arm that juts out fits right along the middle of this outlined petal. So that was the easiest way that I could see to do it. And every time it works and fits perfect, and it's so pretty, and I love it. I just think this kind of makes it, I think, kind of gives it that extra oomph. Let's see, I did do 2 here, but there's probably not much that is visible with the black. I'll just do a little bit there and see if it'll get just a tad of that, the top parts. Okay, all right, so I'm going to switch over to the next flower and grab its little center. And this one is pretty easy as well. It just kind of goes in the direction. I feel like it matches up really well with the direction of the petals. Whoop. All right. So right there. Beautiful. And there. And I think I can fit it right here. Gorgeous. Isn't that awesome? Y'all, this is so pretty. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, so flowers are done. That's it. I told you guys that was super easy. Now, the next thing that was done on this card was, when I was looking at it in the book, I was like, that's got a very light blue background. And this is a piece of white cardstock. And so I don't know for sure if this is what the designers did, but I am going to assume that they used our watercolor pencils and that they painted that background, that beautiful pool play blue, because the picture, it was just so faint and so pretty, and it just had that kind of watercolor look that I just know that's what they did. And if they didn't, well, it's a close replica. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now we are using our watercolor pencil number 25. So this is from our Color Splash watercolor pencil set. Okay. And this is the same technique that I have used in many of my videos. Grab a little piece of acetate, get some water, and you can see that I already have some, well, you might not be able to see, but I already have some color here from when I was painting my other one. But right here, I'm just spritzing water. And I'm going to take my pencil and my medium blending brush, okay? My medium because it has a wider tip, and I am not trying to color anything super fine. I wanted it to go fairly quick. So as you can see, I'm pulling the color from the watercolor pencil and creating just a little bit of a paint. And so then I'm just going to grab from this paint and color in these little white areas. And it's pretty easy, and you're not trying to color like just beautiful and like everything solid. Yes, you do want it to be beautiful, but don't be so painstaking about it. When I was doing my first card, I was like, oh, I think I want a little bit of a white border on some of these. So I didn't try to line up the paint too much with the image. I just kind of went for it and tried to get as much of the middle part painted in blue and try to leave a little bit of a white edge around the flowers. Sometimes I managed to do that, and sometimes I just kind of butted up against it, and that was okay, because again, it's not supposed to be this perfectly colored. It's supposed to be, from what I could see, a watercolor look. So you can tell I'm not taking any particular pains, just trying to make sure I don't go over my flower image, and that I try to leave a little bit of that white space in between some of the flowers. Isn't this so pretty, guys? I just loved it. Love it, love it, love it. I love the color combo, although you can use whatever color combo you want. Just try to pick a light for a background, kind of like a medium tone for the details. I'm going to move this out a little bit so we can see the entire panel. And then for the centers, use a nice dark color so that it will provide a nice contrast for you. Okay. All right, almost done here. Again, you can see it is not anything too fancy whatsoever. Just fill in that white space. And it's supposed to look a little cloudy. That's kind of the look you're going for. Now you could come back and, spritz a little bit more water on the acetate sheet and get a little bit more color from the pencil if you want. That first time I did it on my card, I definitely went back and added a little bit more blue to it. This one here that I'm doing, let me see if I can zoom a little bit out again. There we go. I like it just the way it is, so I'm going to keep it. Maybe I'll use the last dregs so that it's not just sitting there. Anybody else want, like, I hate wasting my color. I create a puddle and I just want to use all of it because it's so pretty. And for whatever reason, I just feel bad if I let that paint dry, even though I know I can reuse it later on. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? Ah, I love it. Okay, so we're going to put our watercolor pencil and supplies away. And basically, you just created your panel, and there's just a few more things to do, and your card is going to be done, which is awesome. I mean, we're not like 2 minutes away, but we're close. So the next thing that you would do, and I've already cut and embossed, is you're going to take a piece of our Pool Play paper, and you're going to use our Stripes embossing folder. And it is right here. And let me see, can you see that pattern? Let's see if I take my hand away. So basically it's just some stripes, okay? And I will put the name and price there on the screen for you. Now, if you are not familiar with how to use our embossing folders, please watch my Amaze Machine review video. It explains exactly how to do that. So I cut a strip that was 5 1/4 by 1.5 inch long, and I ran it through the machine and embossed it, and this is what's going to go right across your cards there. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the base so that I can get the rest of it going. I'm going to use our tape runner. Do a little bit on the back. Center it on that Pool Play panel. Okay, so now I've got this panel of Pool Play. Now I can take this and adhere it, and I'm just going to run a little strip on each end there. And it goes about, 3/4 of an inch from the bottom is where I kind of landed it. And I just kind of looked at the card that was in our catalog, and I'm replicating it as best as it makes sense to me. So, okay, so 3/4 inch from the bottom. We've got the panel. The next thing here that you can do is you can get your pink, our bubblegum pink ribbon, And we also want to create this little tag, all right? So in the book, it used the live in the moment sentiment from our Howdy Notes stamp set. I couldn't think of a reason why I would make a card for live in the moment. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of reasons, but I just couldn't think of one. But I use thank you cards all the time. So I wanted to get that thank you from our Summer Garden stamp set. And the thank you is right here. And it was the perfect size. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a little scrap of my butter, not buttercream, our whipped cream. I used our black licorice and stamp it right there. Beautiful. Now, in order to trim it out perfectly so that it's a circle, I used our punch system with our 1.5 inch circle cartridge. Okay, and again, if you are not familiar with our punch system, please check out my video. I have one using our punch system, and I like to stamp it, and then I like to get it and look at it from the bottom and make sure that when I'm punching that it's punched exactly in the center, exactly where I want, and then I just punch away and there it goes. All right, so now that I have my thank you, I'm gonna take my little punch. I say my punch, everything's called a punch, huh? Well, it is. That one's our punch system. This is our, what, our little slit punch or ribbon punch. The name will be on the screen. And I'm just going to cut a little slit here, right in the middle, so that I can string it onto our card. Okay, so now it's ready. I say it's ready. Not quite. I'm lying to you. I'm lying to you. We're going to ink it up. Okay, did you hear that? Stormy, I'm going to ink it up. So yes, I know that plenty of us still ink up the edges. In my last video, when I was talking about our shabby chic card, and I said way back in the day when we would ink up the edges, I meant that it was really, really popular. Like it was a huge trend, and I know that we still do that a little bit here and there, but I don't do it quite as much, although I still do it sometimes. So here we go, Stormy. This one's for you. I'm inking up the edges. And again, from what I saw in the catalog, I'm pretty sure that this is what they did as well. And I am using our Pool Play and our little orange spongy onesies. So Pool Play, it's the color of our blue cardstock. And let's see if you can pick that up on camera. I'm thinking no, you can't. But there's a little bit there, I promise. And from here, we can then attach it to the ribbon and the bow. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our bubblegum satin ribbon. Isn't this beautiful? Y'all, $9.95 for 20 yards. It is a good deal, I'm just saying. And did any of you guys take advantage when we had it on sale? I hope you did. I know some of y'all did. So I just cut it, and I'm going to wrap it around here, adhering it with a little bit of our tape runner. Just a little bit on each end. And I put it right on top on the edge and lined it up right on the edge of that blue panel and then folded it over. And I didn't like adhere it super tight. I let it be just a little loose because I'm going to come around and tie a bow right here. So that's now attached. I'm going to tie a bow, a real bow right there. So I'm going to grab another, I don't know, 11 or so inches, maybe 12 inches of ribbon. And you're literally going to tie a bow, a real bow. No faux bow here today. So underneath there, I do a little loop, making sure the satin is facing, and then I tie a knot. And I try to get it fairly tight. Make sure my little ribbon ends are equal in length. If not, I'll undo it and try it again. Then with my satin side facing us, I form a little loop. Again, with the satin side facing, I will go around that loop and then through the opening that my finger's making, and then I will pull that loop through, if it'll let me. All right, now this is where you kind of have to play with it a little bit, because part of it is going to go in and you want it to stay out. I like to stick my fingers inside these bow loops and then just pull them tight, and then just kind of adjust like you normally would. There we go. All right, and then we're going to cut the little ends so that they're nice and pretty and not frayed. And this side as well. Oops, y'all, I totally didn't cut that well. We're gonna cut it again. There we go. That's better. All right, so we've got our cute little fluffy bow. I'm gonna pull this out a little bit. Y'all, I could like adjust these bows forever. Can you, is that what you do too? Just like you keep fluffing and fluffing and fluffing? But I'm gonna let it go now. Okay, so we have our bow, sorry. And we have our little tag. And let's see what else we need. We need our bubblegum pink thread. And then we need our little button. So do you see this beautiful, cutesy wootsy little button? So in the original card, it uses our little pearlescent, I don't know the name, I'm going to find them though right now, buttons that I apparently did not have, nature buttons. So in the card it uses these buttons right here. And apparently I don't have them, which we're going to rectify that very shortly. It uses these, and I think it uses one of these really pretty shiny ones. So I just realized today as I was looking through my buttons, I don't have those. So I substituted these pretty white ones from our black and white buttons, okay? And it works just fine. And of course you can use what you have as well. So I grabbed a little bit of our pink, bubblegum pink twine. I put it around, underneath and around the entire bow, okay? Threaded the thank you tag. If I can get in, there it goes. Then I threaded the button, one end of the twine through one little buttonhole, if I can get it through. Okay, I just licked my fingers on that. And then, you know that's a trick, right? And then I'll put the other strand through. All right, so then that kind of brings them together, but I don't want it that way. I want it in the middle. There we go. And I just pulled it through until it kind of came to the center there. There we go. And then just tie another bow. No biggie. If you are bow like impaired, look at some of the tutorials online. There are gobs, guys. And then practice. I mean, it's really true. When practice makes perfect. It really does. And you have to have a little bit of patience with yourself, okay? And then if all else fails and you just can't do it and you hate it, do one, don't undo it, leave it, and then come back to it later, because there's nothing like being frustrated to just totally kill your mojo. All right, so there. We have our button attached, and the bow, and our beautiful little tag, which you can't see is inked, but I promise you it is. Our beautiful background that looks like patterned paper, guys. Doesn't that look like patterned paper? Yes, it does. We created that. I created that. You can create that using our Poppy stamp set. Okay, last step. I told you this was easy. Done. Quick. I say quick. Well, it wasn't an hour, right? Is we attach our dillies on the back. And by dillies, I mean our foam squares. And one in the center because it's not that heavy of a card. Peel off the paper backings. As long as your fingers work with you, and then attach it to your card base and you are done, which is so fun. And I'll stop enunciating those end sounds. All right, here we go. Now we're going to center it. I love the framed look. I love how the white and the blue kind of pop, and obviously with the pink. Beautiful. So there you have it. Done, 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 done. Isn't it so pretty? Guys, I love these stamp set. Love, love, love. One of my new favorites. And I mean, they have been in the catalog all year. And I'm just now breaking them out. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, life was busy, right? So here we go. Summer Rose was last video. This one is Poppy Days. Poppy Days. Multi-step stamping gives you beautiful, beautiful stamped images. And you know what? Every time you do it, you may not get it exactly the same way. So I'm looking at the patterns and again, it's at random. That's the beauty of it, the beauty of it. All right, so that's the Hero Poppy Days stamp set. You can use whatever sentiment you like. I use the sentiment from Summer Garden. It said thank you. You can use what you would like. I use the, white button from the black and white striped button sets. And I also used our whipped cream and Pull Play cardstock. And of course, cannot forget our pretty bubblegum pink satin ribbon and our bubblegum pink twine. All right, guys, that's it for my tutorial today. Just a reminder, if you have not gone over and commented on which one of these cards would be the one that you like best, go ahead and do it because I'm giving away the Color Cross stamp set by the end of the week. Giving a chance for everyone to look, take a look at it and vote. And again, if you are into memory making, check out our 30% off promotion this month, which is 30% off our flip book, our cute little clipboard, and our little mini book. So I think got all three of those products right. So those are 30% off this month, so make sure to check those out. If you ever have any questions about any of the products I use in my video or in our wonderful, amazing catalog, then just shoot me an email or comment in the message below. I am happy to help. Guys, these are awesome, okay? If you're looking to see what's in our catalog, do I have catalogs? They are $12.95 and you can order them through my website, which is www.funstampersjourney.com/Janice Whiting. And again, you just go on there, click on shop like you would any online store, and thank you. Okay, thanks so much. I so appreciate your business. I appreciate you commenting on the videos and stopping by the blog and saying hi. Love it all. All right. Okay, well, I am going to, I don't know, I might take a nap. There's nothing like a beautiful spring day that can induce a nap in me. So that might be what I'm doing next. But anyway, who cares? I hope you have a great day and we will talk to you later. Bye.